And not doing this video out of the garden. I am on my property working on a building which I hope to convert into an off-grid library, classroom, laboratory. Anyway, so the next work day, this is Wednesday. I'll try to get this up. It'll be after 5 o'clock when I get back home. But so the next work day, it's going to depend on weather. So we've got rain coming in tonight. I don't know if it's going to be raining in the morning, Thursday morning or not. If it is actively raining, don't bother coming. There's no reason to be out there working in the rain. If it's not raining and it hasn't rained too hard, then we can probably still get some stuff done. So that's the whole reason for a lot of the mulch, is to be able to, after a rain, be able to very quickly, if not immediately, be able to get out there and walk around without getting too muddy. So we'll just have to see what happens on Thursday. I don't think it's going to be raining Friday morning, but we'll see. If we do go out, and it's not too muddy, we will continue putting the wood chip mulch out. I went out yesterday. There has not been any more put out as of Tuesday, or dropped off since Tuesday. So we've still got about a third to a quarter of the load of pine and a little bit of the hardwood. So we still got a decent pile out there. So we'll continue spreading that out, start opening the bags of rice hulls and putting that on top of some of the rows, even if the rows are not planted. If it is not too wet, I have got a mini tiller, like one of those little 2-stroke ones, but I've got a Honda 4-stroke, and got a 5-gallon bucket of biochar getting loaded. So biochar, you can look it up on Google or wherever you look. It's basically charcoal, really, really good charcoal that's down to just the carbon, or as close to that as possible. And so at that point, it's just charcoal. To make it biochar, you have to put life in it. Many people do it different ways. I don't even get into it, go look at it. But what I'm doing is I've just got a 5-gallon bucket. I have taken Royal Oak chunk charcoal, because that's all it is hardwood that's been made into charcoal. Same as if I were doing it myself, and I hope to do that someday. But there's not been anything added to it. There's not any chemicals. It's not any starting fluid. It's not briquettes. It's just plain chunk hardwood charcoal. I crushed it up, put it in a 5-gallon bucket with, about 4 or 5 solo cupfuls of worm castings from my worm bin from last year, and rainwater. And I've had that soaking and bubbling for about 2 days, and I'll bring that out. And what that will do, the goal of that is, one, the life and the enzymes and everything that was in the worm castings is going to be extracted through that rainwater, but also is getting loaded into the biochar. The charcoal is going to hold water. I'm not putting a ton out. I've just got a 5-gallon bucket, so I may only do like 1 row. But it also can hold the nutrients. It can hold, got a lot of pore space for bacteria and microbes in there as a sanctuary for them. And it's all part of trying to get the life in the soil. So at least 1 row, if it's dry enough to be able to use that little mini tiller, we may put a decent layer of the rice hulls, because they sell that as a soil amendment in place of perlite or vermiculite anyway. And then I will put that biochar on top as well. And then when I do a very light tilling to make a seed bed, then it will incorporate some of those rice hulls to help loosen and fluff that soil up a little bit, but also incorporate this biochar into that row. So that's one thing I'd like to do. We've got those black metal tags, the ones that Ashley, I believe, from the YouTube group, or from the Facebook group, she did some. If somebody wants, we can put those out, but if somebody wants to be making more, we need enough with numbers to be able to identify all the different rows, and there should be enough left that we can start actually labeling specific things like the fava beans, like the onions, like the elephant garlic, where things are, actually putting a metal tag there to identify what's in that portion of that bed. And I've got a can of clear spray, so whether we make 5, 10, 20 of those tags, write on there with the white pen, then do a quick coat of the clear, let it dry, do at least 3 or 4 coats of that clear on top of that, so that it hopefully will stay at least through the rest of the year. And then I will have some seed out there that we might be able to plant. So I've got several packets from Baker Creek that had been given to me for a project a year or 2 ago that I still got of a bush green bean. Should have enough to do a pretty good row of that. I also am bringing a packet of dragon's tongue bush bean. So it's just a different kind of bean, and I'm not too worried about doing 2 different ones as long as we separate them far enough. They don't cross-pollinate readily. They can if they're all mixed in with each other, but for the most part, from what I can tell, as long as you've got, they're supposedly a perfect flower like tomatoes and like okra, but they do get visited by pollinators. So as long as you've got 20, 30 feet of distance between 2 patches, they should not cross-pollinate, and then we'd be able to save seed. So I've got 2 kinds of beans and a few other things, and we can just, if we can get another row or 2 planted of something, then that would be pretty cool. So that's what I've got planned for this week, Thursday and Friday Workday, weather permitting. I'm going to get to work. I'm trying to, when it's too wet to do anything else outside, I'm working on insulating this building, trying to get it ready.